So, to go and start this story off, you have to understand that the character I was playing with is Ed. He is a changeling, and a rogue, and part druid. So the way his spells are set up, he is basically a cubi, which means he can go and mutate the tentacles. With that taken care of, it started off, our party sat there in this town. We had all gone and decided to go talk to the mayor about a quest to go and kill a lich. With our current level, it would have been a tough quest, but the pay was good enough that we figured it was worth the risk. So we go in, we talk to the mayor about the quest, and as everyone else was starting to go and wander off, I went and did a sense motive check and found out there was more to it than just what he was telling. So, with that being said, I went and stayed behind. So here was the first mistake of the party. They left the kleptomaniac rogue with the mayor of the city alone. So, I'm sitting there discussing with the mayor, finding out that they have found out about this for a couple of weeks, and he has been raising an undead army since then. So he not only is just killing this lich and dealing with his traps, you also have a small undead legion to deal with as well. Not so much a big problem, up until I go and fail my klepto check. Upon failing my klepto check, I basically took the tax book. He basically takes the tax book of the entire town, very, very blatantly, just kind of goes and shoves it in his cloak, right in front of the mayor, who then proceeds to go, "What are you doing?" I use the focus feat to go and study him for 4 turns. By doing so, I am guaranteed a hit. So I go and I argue, talk back and forth, say, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry," just go and basically bluff with him for 4 turns while studying him, with the intent of using my tentacle to go and knock him out. Sit there and do a d20 for the focus roll first. Roll a 1. Okay, so then he sits there and has me roll again for the 2 hit. Roll a 20. Whatever it is that this tentacle becomes will definitely hit and will probably critical. Roll again. Roll another 20, which means that it's not only will it definitely hit, it definitely hits with a critical, which is ×3 no matter what it is. So then it sits there, rolls again to go and try and confirm for a double crit at that point after rolling 2 20s in a row, and I do not get that, sadly. Rolling like a 16 or 17, which I would have to roll the critical range again to go and get the double critical. So, whatever I roll is going to be a critical. He sits there and says, "Okay, you have 3 possible things. Roll a d6. Roll a d6. It's a 4. I just see the DM sit there, just snicker, in the background. Sits there, whispers to me, "You're not going to like this." Hands me the d8. Roll that. It's a 7. So then he sits there, leans over to me, and informs me that I have nearly decapitated the mayor because the tentacle I have formed was basically a katana. And I have sliced his head off, besides a couple of muscle fibers. And furthermore, someone has overheard this. So I hear someone banging on the door, and I do a spot check in my panic and find a letter opener. I thrust this into the dead mayor's hands and explained, I thrust this into the dead mayor's hands and hope to God that my bluff check works. So sit there, the door opens, and the now mayor, thanks to me having killed the current mayor, is standing there. I sit there and roll a bluff check, and I roll a 20. I'm like, yes! So DM's like, okay, roll again. Roll an 18. Yes! So then I sit there and explain, in character, the mayor, he killed himself with that letter opener. And he completely believed me. I have now convinced the assistant mayor, the now mayor, that the previous mayor nearly decapitated himself with a letter opener. It gets a little bit better. I then sit there and discuss with him his new plans. Rolling a persuasion check of an 18, which means he very, very much likes me. I find out from this conversation that he is the one who summoned the lich, and the rest of my party members who are out on their quest are now about to go get arrested after they go and they complete their quest. There is no reward waiting for them, just armed guards. So they sit there, and they wonder why I'm sitting there, by this point, I'm going back around town, so we're all talking together again. And they're a little bit worried that I'm giggling you know, well, no, I'm not just giggling. I am laughing my ass off at this point while having Ed go and do what he would normally do, which is get wasted and pour himself out for money. So while I'm doing this, they're off doing the quest, and they're constantly under the expectation that the DM will somehow railroad me with them. He does not. I have made like 50 to 100 gold coins at this point from just pickpocketing and doing the normal things Ed would do, while the rest of the party has gone off, completed the quest, barely killed the Lich. They're like in tatters, barely alive when they come back. They're all pissy at me, and their only saving grace is that I get none of the reward. That is their only, you know, real happiness. They don't even realize that the DM had awarded me a level for the epicness of which bluffing, bluffing that someone killed himself with a letter opener had gotten. So, they come back and they get arrested. I'm just sitting there laughing my ass off at them because they had just completed this quest and they're like, what the hell happened? So they go off to jail. Ed, you know, I sit there and I see them find out what had happened, while they're getting pulled up, and then proceed to go and systematically wipe out the guards to go and rescue them because he was compelled to do so. However, to be a jerk for the way that they had treated me and the fact that it's very much in Ed's style, I would kill a guard, change in his uniform, and then impersonate him using the changeling abilities. I would then leave the keys that he had in his pocket just out of reach of the jail cell. So everyone is in the jail cell reaching for the keys while I'm sitting there systematically wiping out all 23 guards of the prison, which I am running out of places to hide the bodies of. There were at least 3 occasions where they saw me just sitting there, you know, hauling a guard's body off to some obscure location so the other guards will not find them and raise the alert of the town guard. So I kill all 23 guards with this big pile of keys in front of everyone, and then I start trying the keys one at a time, rather than handing them the pile. It was something like 23 or 24 keys later till I finally rescue them, and then tell them the whole story of what happened. At which point, of the 4 party members who were rescued, 2 wanted to kill me, and 2 thought it was downright hilarious. And thus, that was the epic story of how I ruined the game.
Thank you very much.